I talk so much about length retention on my channel because I'm so passionate about sharing my journey and also helping everyone out there. But I talk mainly on like the major things that you need to do to retain more length. But there are little things that you need to learn that actually pave a good way for your length retention. I've learned so much when it comes to length retention. I've done so many research and also seen so much results in my length retention. And these are the few things that I've learned, especially the little things that count over time that would really, really help in your length retention journey. I'm very intentional about keeping my hair away from single strand knots or tangles or friction or anything that's going to dry out my hair. So anytime I'm laying my head down on any surface or any on my bed, anything, I make sure to scarf my hair or wear my bonnet. This is something I do unconsciously now because over time I've prepped myself or like forced myself to always have my bonnet on or my scarf on anytime I want to lay my head, and it has really helped my moisture because my hair doesn't dry out fast and my moisture lasts up to a week now because I'm very conscious about when I'm laying my head down I put on my scarf. It also helps to prevent single strand knots and your ends drying up and breaking. So this is something that you should actually try. It's a very little thing you can include in your routine, but over time, it really, really helps because moisture is very important when it comes to your hair growth and length retention. If you want to stop your breakage, your moisture should be something you should focus on. And scarfing your hair before you lay it down is something you should actually start doing now. So for my protective hairstyle, I'm always on mini twist now, and one thing that has helped in protecting my ends and also retaining more length is tucking my ends. Like I don't leave my hair out very often, and if I'm doing it, it's mostly for a hairstyle. But if my hair is under a wig or I'm not like wearing my hair out, I tuck my ends in. This just helps your ends to stay moisturized longer and also prevent split ends and your hair ends drying out because if your ends dry out, they're going to break and you won't be able to see length retention. Also note that your ends are the oldest part of your hair, so they require so much care and love. And tucking your ends in just help to make your moisture last longer. So this is something I do when I'm not wearing my hair out or my hair is in a week, it's tucked in and it has helped keep my moisture longer on my ends. Still on your ends, there's something I do, but I don't do it regularly, but I look at my ends to see if I can see any split ends. It's not something I do regularly because I always thought you could not see your split ends if you look at it. But one random day, I looked at my ends and I noticed that you could actually see where your split ends are. So it just helps me to just give my hair a little dusting off or just a little trim. If I notice split ends or if they're just little, I can just trim them off. But if they're not, they're a lot, and I will just make sure to keep up with my routine because split ends you can always prevent them and also fix it. So if they're not a lot, I'll just make sure to focus more on my ends concerning moisture or just give myself a little, like very little trim. I won't say it's a trim, more like dusting of my ends. So this is something that I don't do regularly, but sometimes I just look at my ends to see if I notice any split ends. And if I don't, I know that I'm doing something right. And it's just a way to know when you're slacking in your routine. And because your hair is always going to tell if you're slacking in your routine, you're not consistent, it will definitely show. And when it comes to moisture, your ends will be the first to have it. So this is something I don't do regularly, but when I do it, I do notice some split ends and sometimes I actually don't. So just try it out and you would see if you have split ends. Another thing is deep conditioning. Like this is something that is always in my routine. This is something I never skip, and it's just a little add-on to your routine. If you don't deep condition, I highly, highly recommend you start deep conditioning now, especially if you have high porosity hair. It's very good for moisture. Any added moisture for that high porosity hair, it really goes a long way. And I mentioned moisture is key when it comes to length retention and hair growth. So why not add deep conditioning to your routine? It's not something you should do as a treatment like once in a month or once in 2 months. It's something you should do regularly to your hair. Like I do it weekly and I've noticed that my moisture lasts so much longer and I absolutely love it. Another thing I actually do is that anytime I'm taking a shower, I hydrate my edges. This is something I just do unconsciously. If I'm in a shower, I might as well just hydrate my edges. And I have very, very thin and fine edges, so I'm always trying to keep them moisturized. If hydrating them every morning when I'm taking a shower is something that can help my edges, I might as well do it. And it helps my edges not to dry out fast because I wear wigs, so you can have a little friction on your edges and just making sure they are hydrated or just putting your conditioner and a little oil on it would go a long way. So I try to take extra care of my edges, and sometimes I don't wait for my weekly routine before I actually go in with a little moisture on my edges, because when it comes to wigs and wearing wig cap, it can actually dry out your edges so much faster than the rest of your hair. So paying extra attention to your edges and the back of your hair is something you should actually start to do now, and you'll notice so much changes in your edges and in your, if you're actually trying to grow your edges, it's something that you should try and practice more. Another thing I try to do is not to pull my hair so much. So when it comes to doing your routine, you would unconsciously be pulling on your hair, and you would not know you're pulling on your hair until like over time it can cause breakage. So anytime I'm doing my routine, I'm putting my hair in a section, anything I'm doing to my hair, I try to be careful and not to pull on my hair. And because I wear mini twist as my protective hairstyle, so I have like tiny patterns, so it's easy for you to break your hair at certain points. And because I have fine hair, I try not to tug on my hair too much or apply too much force when I'm doing any routine, because I've noticed that when I pull on my hair, it starts paining me at certain points. So it's just something I noticed and decided to just be more gentle when I'm doing my routine or anything I'm doing to my hair. Just be more careful with my hair. So just be gentle. It's just a little thing you can do to your hair, and to help reduce breakage and excessive breakage that you don't need on your hair. When it comes to my mini twist, especially when I just freshly put them in, I love to try new hairstyles. And if you're not careful, you would want to try a lot of hairstyles in the span of a week. So, what has really helped me and made my mini twist last longer is doing weekly hairstyles. So, if I have my hair in a half up, half down hairstyle, that's the hairstyle for the week. And this helps to reduce tension on your scalp. Like I mentioned, you pulling on your hair would make your scalp like start like you have excessive breakage and unnecessary breakage, and also that tension on your scalp is not something you want, because you can develop bumps and it's just going to irritate your scalp. So it helps me to reduce that manipulation, and also it makes my protective hairstyle last longer, because if I'm not switching my hairstyles every day, it helps to make my hair not get frizzy fast. So this is something I notice, especially because this is my third time doing mini twist as a long-term protective hairstyle. Either my fourth time or my third time doing that mini twist as a long-term protective hairstyle. So because of this, it has helped my hair stay longer in that mini twist, because I keep it for 3 months, and it has helped to reduce manipulation. Any form of tension on your scalp, you need to reduce that, because it's so unnecessary and it can cause excessive breakage. Moving on to the last and final thing is scheduling my routine before the day I have to do it, because most times things can come up and you would want to make your routine a priority, especially when it comes to your lifestyle. I like to schedule my routine into my lifestyle, so I don't skip my routine. When it comes to your routine, you have to be consistent, you cannot slack on it. And making sure that I get my hair washed or my moisture routine is done is very, very important to me, especially in my length retention. So I make sure that I do my weekly routine ahead, like I schedule it ahead of time, so that I would know that okay, at this certain time I'm getting it done. And if I have any other work related thing, or anything that just an emergency or anything that comes up, I know that oh, I've done this routine, so it's just one thing out of my list. So making sure I schedule my routine is very important, especially if you have a very busy lifestyle, a very busy day. Doing it beforehand is something that would really, really help, and to just help you plan everything better. So that's the last thing I have to say. I know there are so many other things concerning like little simple things you can do to help you learn retention. So if you have more that I didn't talk about, leave that in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts on this particular video, because I've made a lot of videos concerning learning retention, and I've spoken about like the major things, but these little things actually do matter, and I just wanted to shed more light on them. And also, if you want to know more about my 3 months challenge, because that's how I'm able to retain length, you can subscribe to get updated on everything concerning my challenge. We're clocking into the third month, so we'll be doing a takedown or a retwist. I don't think I'm doing a full takedown, I might just do a retwist. So yeah, we're going to be doing a retwist. So we're going to be starting a new challenge soon. So this is the best time to get your hair prepped and ready for the new challenge. It's going to be starting in April. So Yeah, that's all for this video. If you have any questions concerning the challenge, concerning any other hair care problems or any hair issues you're facing, leave that in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer that, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.